Everyone, welcome back to Gosh Darn Dandy Time, our weird show on YouTube where we talk about anything and everything, and we don't have any editing software, so we do it all in one cut. So, I'm going to talk about some books again. It's another book review video, but it's not about any specific books. These books are kind of like my inspiration for this topic, I guess. I don't know, I'm all over the place. I'm completely scatterbrained. I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm trying to get to somewhere specifically on the topic of children's homes and youth shelters and foster care and when children are in limbo. When children ages birth to 18 or 19, 20, 21, depending on what U.S. state you live in, what Canadian province you live in, when you're a kid, you rely on your parents to obviously care for you, put a roof over your head, feed you, clothe you, provide you with basic necessities in life, some luxuries in life, your education. They're in charge of all the big decisions. They're in charge of your medical care. They're in charge of everything, but then one day, they fail. Or maybe they fail in small, tiny, little, silent, quiet ways, over and over and over again, to the point where someone outside of your family gets suspicious, or they start asking questions about your parents' difficulties in caring for you. And you're just a kid, or a teenager, and you don't know all the answers to why your parents are skipping on this thing and they're struggling to make do with that thing and they're struggling to pay for this and they haven't bought you a new pair of shoes in the past 2 years and your shoes are falling apart so miserably that they're talking while you're walking. When your shoes are falling apart like that and your teachers notice, your friends families notice, your next door neighbors notice, your grandparents notice, and your aunt and uncle notice, and your cousins notice. They start asking you questions, they start asking your parents questions. Maybe it's not just your shoes that are falling apart, but maybe it's your bedroom, maybe it's your kitchen, maybe it's the house or the apartment you live in, maybe it's your parents' finances that are falling apart, and either they're intentionally making the kids suffer, or they're completely blind and oblivious that their child is lacking in basic everyday needs because the parents are so self-involved with their own difficulties, with their own needs, with their own depression, with their own mental health issues, that they forget the kid has needs too. And when those parents get to that point where they forget that the kid has needs too, someone makes a comment to a mandated reporter, such as a teacher, an educator, a police officer, a social worker. And one way or another, the school gets involved, and next door neighbor gets involved, a relative gets involved, someone else close to the family gets involved, another close family friend who's over at the house, at your family's home, once every week, they get involved. And maybe an intervention is held for the parents, and an intervention is held for the kids. And different things are done to try to improve the family's quality of life, such as new shoes and a few new clothes here and there for the kids. Maybe someone donates some laundry detergent and dryer sheets and house cleaning items. Maybe someone else donates a couple of new pots and pans because the old ones have been not washed for the past 3 months, that they're encrusted with so much food and nastiness that they're not salvageable anymore. Maybe new plates, new dishes, maybe new kitchen things, maybe a whole head to toe entire house cleaning is done. Maybe not all of that is good enough. And maybe the kids of that family, they end up going to sleep over and spend a few nights here and there at a friend's house, at another friend's house, at another friend's house, back and forth between friends' houses and their own home, and the parents aren't getting their shit together. The parents aren't keeping the house clean or maintaining some cleanliness in the kitchen. Maybe there's some ants or roaches or flies beginning to come into the kitchen. Maybe your parents aren't hoarders, but your parents aren't cleaning actively either. And at some point, your friend's parents no longer can just keep on playing shuffle the kid around. So they reached social services. What are you doing? Stop it! Oh my fucking god, forgive that. Someone behind the camera is acting like a total doofus. Trying to distract me from my tangent, from my wild stories, from my wild hypothetical situations. I haven't been in these situations myself, but I read too much for my own good. I watch too many little clips here and there of news clips and documentaries and journalism clips all on YouTube. I can never seem to stop getting into finding other people's stories of other people's struggles. And I just keep on reading and reading and watching videos and watching videos and reading and watching video after video after video I can find on the internet of other people's childhood struggles. Or a lot of classic episodes of Law & Order SVU where children are neglected and you see these stories ripped from the headlines. Yeah. So, at a certain point, your parents just keep on failing over and over and over again to the point where your classmates' parents no longer want to play shuffle the kid around for week-long sleepovers. Your next-door neighbor can't have you over anymore for week-long sleepovers or weekend stays because your parents keep on failing. A grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, they're tired of shuffling the kid around from one couch to the next couch to the next couch. And they all get together and they call social services, child protective services, adult protective services, the government-run industries more or less responsible or created by the government to help partially solve family conflicts, but also these agencies can cause even more drama amongst family conflicts that already exist. It's kind of both. I don't think foster care is the perfect solution to helping families get their shit together. I mean, in certain situations, individually, I guess, here and there, it feels like a child being ripped from the parents is, yes, it's going to hurt them, it's going to traumatize them, but if it means the child's going to have the same bed for 6 weeks instead of 1 week, I think that can help a little bit. But I don't know by how much. See, I have this idea in my head that's not like old school, middle 20th century or late 20th century or early 21st century youth shelters or overflow shelters, which are either permanent places like what used to be nursing homes for the elderly. They're like the physical structures that were intended to be nursing homes, but then the businesses go to business. The patients need to be removed and go somewhere else, but the buildings are still there. The houses that are single-story structures with, 20 bedrooms, they're still there, waiting for another nursing home business to go in. And sometimes, it's not a nursing home business that goes in. It's a child welfare agency that goes in, takes over the facility, turns it into a group home or foster care shelter for kids and teens to stay at when they're in limbo between couches, between parents, between family members, relatives, whatnot. There's a lot more to cover in my next video. So please like, subscribe, comment, stick around to watch the next video. Thank you.